Let's talk quickly about ground leases. I often talk about commercial leases and warehouse leases, but what about ground leases? At their fundamental core, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the lease of ground, of land, right? Rather than a commercial building or a warehouse building, for example. Usually a rent is calculated on the ground. It's based on the existing condition of the ground, whether that be unimproved, partially improved, it might be fully improved with a very small building that still makes sense to calculate the rent on a ground basis. A lot of quick service restaurants or QSRs are done on ground leases where the franchisee or the franchise for that matter, using, let's say McDonald's for example, might lease the ground and then build the improvements themselves. They usually do this on long-term basis of, sometimes anywhere from 50 to upwards of 99 years. They pay the owner of the property ground rent. The owner of the property does not participate in the improvements on the property whatsoever, other than inheriting them at the end of the ground lease. Now, another type of ground lease would be like a more traditional industrial yard lease is what they often called. They would be involved in leasing the actual ground itself, just like I described in the previous example, but rather than doing a long-term kind of 50 to 99-year lease where improvements are built upon the property, it's just a straight-up ground lease of what is existing via the existing improvements on the property. So there's a lot of different ways that ground leases can be done. Owners tend to like them because it involves minimal cost and participation on their end. Tenants like them because it's a lot cheaper, and if you do the long-term ground lease, it's usually financeable via most banks. So there's a lot of different ways you can go about it, but it's a really interesting way to accomplish getting a property leased rather than having to just necessarily build a building and lease a commercial building like you would traditionally see. So hope that was helpful. Happy to answer any questions you have. Thanks for watching.